Well, let's say you get pulled over. I mean, probably everybody's nightmare fear is to see the flashing red and blue lights up in their rear view mirror. Once you get pulled over, you have several options. One, yes, you need to be polite with the officer. But depending on what the officer is stopping you for, there's several options. One, you do not have to allow an officer to search inside of your car. Now, if the officer is asking you to get out of the car, yes, you should always obey the officer. But if the officer asks you, may I search in your car, may I search in your trunk, those are what we call consent searches. He's asking your consent, which means you don't have to give that consent. And in some instances, you may not want to. On the DUI type of situation where you're operating under the influence of alcohol, you have a couple of options. Generally, the officer is going to ask you, do you want to do field sobriety tests? And those are tests that help the officer determine whether you're under the influence or impaired by alcohol. You have the option not to take the field sobriety test. Now, if you don't take the blood or breath test, then there are consequences behind that, in the sense that you can lose your license for 1 calendar year if you don't take the blood or breath test. But you have to understand that there are some options, and when the officer asks you questions, may I search your car, may I do that, you have the option to say no. You have the option also not to talk to the officer. So in those situations, you do have some options too. But again, in the driving and impaired situation, if you don't take the blood or breath test, then there's a sanction where you can lose your license for a year.